Justin's Kaibigan music video, I have seen the music video several times already because I absolutely love it. So I'm not going to do an ordinary reaction video where I will watch it and then pretend to be surprised. I'm not a good actress. I'll just go through 10 of the critical things that I've observed about the music video and the song. If you ended up liking this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification button. And of course, share the video if you can. On to the video. Because Justin is by nature a creative director, I think he also thinks cinematically. He always thinks of how the sonic elements and the visual elements will sync together, and it's very evident in this music video. It started, one of the clue is how he actually matched the change in tempo in the progression of the narrative. So in the beginning, the tempo was very slow and then it was starting to build up a little. So in the beginning, it actually felt like a confession, like he was just going to talk about how he got the girl or he confessed or something like that. And then as he goes closer into the climax, which is the confession, the revelation, actually, the revelation of what the girl is into, the tempo goes faster and faster and faster. And right before the confrontation or the revelation, he goes a cappella, like he cuts off the music. And it was a foreboding of sorts. So you can actually feel only at the very last moment, just before the revelation, you kind of felt like, oh, this is different. Because from everything from the beginning up until that point, pointed to the two of them coming together. And then when he cuts off the music video, that's the instrument and the beat. That's the only time that you felt like, oh, wait a minute, there's something. So I feel like that has always been like how the song, the sonic elements will sync with the visual elements. That has always been in his head when he was creating the song. And then after the revelation, even the tone of his voice actually breaks, along with the breaking of his heart. He was crying in the outro, and that simple touch actually changes the entire surreal song. If you go back, it will change how you look at it. It's not just sad, it's actually sort of devastating. So I remember when I first did the reaction video for that one, I said it was giving me the Disney feel because it was so bright, so happy, so bubbly. It is hoppy as well, happy and bubbly. But then from here, hearing him cry in the end, and then if you're actually watching the music video, you know that they sort of zoom past several scenes in the surreal music video where they filled up some scenes in the music, so for the two stories to connect. I It is absolute genius for Justin to be able to do that. Just using that outro, that if you actually tune out, you're going to miss it. But that touch in that outro absolutely changes the previous song. Imagine that you've already released the song, you've already laid out the story, and you manage to change the meaning of that just by changing the outro, the tonality of the outro. Absolute genius. And I think if he's ever going to do any kind of movies that has like sequels and prequels, he's going to nail it. He's going to eat it up. If he can do this with a 5-minute music video with two songs, imagine what he can do if he's given a 2-3 hour material to work on. I also have to appreciate how different the two songs are sonically, which actually tells us about his range and how versatile he actually is as a singer and as a musician. I know that he wrote the lyrics for this one. It did so. With that, you even with just two singles, he was able to sort of sample what he can do as a singer and the range that he has as a performer. But he was still able to maintain a feel, not necessarily the tempo, not necessarily the melody, but he was able to maintain a feel. Both songs actually sound bright. At least for Kaibigan, it sounded bright in the beginning. Up like it only darkened after the revelation. So that's like a quarter, the last quarter of the song. But both kind of felt bright. But you know, it's actually tragic. But at least he was able to maintain that feel. And it also speaks of his style as a creative director and as an artist and as a singer, that there he can do irony between the message and the tempo and the melody and the beat. This is one of those rare times when the music video actually added value to the song, because there's so many music videos out there where it doesn't actually really add value to the narrative or value to the song itself. It doesn't, like, you could have done with it. Like, it doesn't matter if it has a music video or not. But I think he was able to create this music video in such a way where when it actually added something to the narrative of the song. It actually, so it's so good together that it feels indispensable. Like, I can't imagine listening to this song and not imagine the music video. That's how integral the two pieces are. And as I've said, this is very much welcome, not just in the Philippine music industry, but in the global music industry, because most of the time singers would just create nonsensical music videos. Like, it doesn't really, there's no narrative, there's no story, there's no need for that music video basically. So again, an intelligent singer, that's what you do. You don't waste a single thing. When you spend on something, that's essentially what he did. He spent on something, he made sure that it is going to make the song better, that it is going to add to his artistry, and not just some display of beautiful visuals. There's an actual story, and it made the song better. The escalation of tempo actually tells the story if you're not watching the music video. So if you don't, just for example, if you're just listening to the song for the first time and haven't seen the music video, the beginning, the first two thirds of the song, it actually feels bright and very, very positive. As I've said, it just kind of felt like he was going to confess something, or he's going to talk about the story on how he got the girl. But I think if you're not listening, if you're not watching the music video, it's the tempo that's going to tell you the story. So he was very soft in the beginning, so you know that he's going to tell something like bright or something good. So, and then it goes faster and faster, which gives you an idea that it's starting to become exciting. And then he suddenly pauses. So, as I've said in the beginning, that element right there is what gives you the foreboding feel. It gives you the warning that something dark is about to happen. So, the tempo itself, I think it was brilliantly planned. And it was brilliantly placed. Like, every change in the tempo, from the escalation to the sudden stop to back to the escalation towards the end, I think it was brilliantly place, that it wasn't just, they didn't do it just because it sounded good. They did it because they needed to tell a story, and they wanted to tell it with or without the music video. I love how he was able to make the bridge slower without making the song feel boring. Usually the bridge is, it usually serves as the highlight of the song, primarily because that's where the conclusion happens. If in a movie, the bridge is where the conclusion, not really the conclusion, but the height of the conflict, and then after that, usually after the bridge is when the conclusion happens, if you compare it into a movie. So usually the bridge is faster. That's where all elements come together. It's usually double speed, you throw everything there, because as I've said, it's supposed to be a highlight. His bridge is actually very, very slow. He stripped it down to its most basic, but he managed to not make it boring. It didn't take away from the dynamism of the song. So, in other words, it didn't feel like I was missing something with his bridge. And I think he did it primarily because he was able to make the audience or the listener concentrate on the lyrics more than the beat. I think the main focus and the main the best part of the song is really the lyrics, and the melody. Secondary is the melody, but primarily the lyrics. So because you're so concentrated on the lyrics, it didn't really matter that much how many times he was changing the melody or how fast the beat was going. It doesn't matter. What you wanted to get out of the song is how the story was going to end. That's a creative director's mind working for you. I love the poetry, the way that he wrote the lyrics. A lot of the songs are, especially if they're trying to be a hit, the tendency is to use words that are more common in our everyday for understandable reasons. But I feel like Justin in this one, and I think, consistent with all his other bandmates, they always try to put some poetry in there. It sounded like very traditional Filipino poetry. That's how it sounded like. There's a lot more metaphors, a lot more symbolism. So if you're the listener, you're not just being fed the information, they're actually giving you the chance to interpret and to think and interpret what they are singing. And I think that's very respectful towards the audience. It just shows how highly they think of their audience. There is also visual poetry. So it's not just the words that have metaphors and symbolisms and soliloquy. It's also the visuals. I've always loved how they would always frame the shot to make it as if the girl is actually looking at Justin, so they're getting paired together, but physically she's almost always closer to the other guy. And then there's always that thin line. There's some sort of an effort to try and push the other guy out of the frame, so you're just always concentrated on Justin and the girl. I loved how the girl wanted to stay at the back with him. So it gives you that question and whether, oh, are they is this it is he going to confess to the girl and whatever. So all of those things, and then later on it has a payoff. So all of those things, the and I love the use of different symbolisms. I love the bracelets, I love the bottle crown, I love the necklace, which she actually was wearing from the beginning. So that there is something for you. It's like an Easter egg hunt. There's always some clues for you to pick up and uncover for you to fully understand the story of the music video. Absolute props to the cinematography and the direction. I love how the color, there's a dominant color from the very beginning. Blue is a dominant color, which actually relaxes you. It puts your mind at ease. It allows you to concentrate on better. That's actually why many of big companies use blue as their dominant color in their website, from Facebook, all this. It's because there's something about blue that actually relaxes your eyes. So I love how they're very conscious of that. And as I've said, that in the direction, it was very thoughtful. It was very smart. Like how, as I've said in the previous points, that they would always frame the girl and Justin to be looking at each other, so it feels like they are getting matched. But then physically, she would always be closer to the other guy. There's also the editing is very fast. They very very rarely stayed with one scene for more than like a second. It's always fast, so it keeps you engaged because you don't want to miss a moment. There's also the conscious effort to always try to, almost not always, but to often shoot from below. So as an audience, it feels like, because you're looking up, it feels like you're always trying to reach for something. And so you as an audience, like there's something that you need to understand in this music video. So there's something in your head. This is most often the ant's eye view. So from the bottom looking up, it's usually used to put the characters in the position of authority. So what are the music videos that are common? Blackpink would usually shoot them, so the camera would always be looking up. It's from the bottom looking up, so they feel bigger, larger than life. But here, because of the tonality of the song and because of the story, it doesn't feel like he's putting themselves in a pedestal. It only feels like you as an audience, you're trying to reach for something. You're trying to like understand what is it that I'm looking at. So I think it's a very thoughtful touch, in terms of cinematography and direction. So I really can't wait for Justin to direct an actual film. The last point is more a hope and a wish. I do think that the Philippine music industry actually needs more of these types of music videos, something that is well thought of. It's not just a visual appeal, it's not just something that will in- invite controversy or anything like that. It's actually a story. They thought about this, and it adds to the layer and the dynamism and the value of the actual song. I think all the music videos of SB19, and this one included, it all reinvents the actual art of music videos, and it reinvents how the relationship of visuals with a song, um, because it's not just, as I've said, it's not just a visual feast. There's an actual substance in the music videos that they're putting out. So we definitely need more of that, and I hope that we that more singers or more performers and more Philippine acts will actually follow this. So it's um I am more than surprised. I'm more than surprised with the connection. I am so surprised, most especially with how Justin made me look at the previous song and the previous music videos differently because of this one. Absolute genius. All right. Thank you for listening. Thank you for bearing with me in the last 10 minutes. I hope that you like that. I hope that I added value to this. And if you have any more requests, please send them. If you have any suggestions, reactions, please leave them in the comment section below. You can do and say whatever it is that you want to say, for as long as you do it respectfully. Please like, subscribe, and hit that notification button. And of course, share the video if you can. Also, please follow me on Patreon. I do have a free subscription if you want to just test the waters first. Also, follow me on Twitter or on X and in Instagram. Thank you.